You're listening to the Winsight Podcast Network.
The world's largest convenience store just opened. One regional grocer is preparing to go on strike, and Oregon might finally allow motorists to pump their own gas. Welcome to Retail Daily, your quick look at the top headlines from CSP Daily News and Winsight Grocery Business. I'm Heather Lally, Editor-in-Chief of WGB.
And I'm Steve Holtz, Editor-in-Chief at CSP. There's a new largest convenience store for the record books. Retailer Buc-ee's opened its 46th C-store on Monday in Sevierville, Tennessee. The store's 74,000 square foot floor plan makes it the largest C-store in the world, according to the chain. It takes the title from Buc-ee's own 68,000 square foot store in New Braunfels, Texas, and it will remain the biggest until the company opens its 75,000 square foot location in Luling, Texas in February 2024. Along with its giant C-store, Buc-ee's Sevierville has 120 gas fueling positions and a car wash. It also features the chain's famous clean restrooms, Texas barbecue, homemade fudge, kolaches, and of course, beaver nuggets.
About 2,500 workers at Lunds and Byerlys stores in Minneapolis on Monday approved an unfair labor practice strike to be held Thursday through Saturday, intentionally targeting the busy grocery weekend before the July 4th holiday. On those days, workers plan to picket outside 22 supermarkets in the Minneapolis area. Members of United Food and Commercial Workers Local 663 said at a press conference they called the action, quote, a last resort. Workers have been without a contract since early March. The grocery retailer, in a statement, said it continues to negotiate with the union and is hopeful an agreement on pay and benefits can be reached.
An Oregon state law that would allow for self-service fueling at convenience store and fuel station locations in the state is awaiting Governor Tina Kotek's signature after both chambers passed the bill last week. Most other states have allowed self-service fueling for years, but Oregon's state officials have raised economic and safety concerns in the past, and the state has had a prohibition on self-service since 1951.
Trader Joe's is building a 1 million square foot food assembly and distribution center in Palmdale, California. That's about 60 miles northeast of downtown LA. Construction on the 104-acre site is slated to start this year, and the facility is expected to open during the fourth quarter of 2024. The project will consist of 3 buildings, an 827,000 square foot hub, a 211,000 square foot freezer facility, and a 6,000 square foot accessory building.
Shares of Ocado Group, the UK-based online grocery company supplying automation technology to U.S. supermarket giant Kroger, remain elevated after media buzz of possible acquisition interest by Amazon. Ocado's stock price has been plunging since the start of the year, making it a potential acquisition target, industry analysts have said. However, an Ocado acquisition by Amazon would put Kroger and Canadian grocer Sobeys in an unusual spot of having major technology infrastructure coming from a direct competitor. Both Kroger and Sobeys are currently building out large fulfillment networks based on the Ocado Smart platform.
A ban on menthol cigarettes and flavored cigars will only exacerbate existing illicit trade of tobacco products. That's according to a letter from 20 U.S. representatives sent to Food and Drug Administration Commissioner Robert Califf. The FDA expects to publish a final rule on these new tobacco standards in August. However, the ban wouldn't take effect until at least a year later. Members of Congress in the letter urged the FDA to take illicit markets seriously by using regulation to safely meet adult consumer demand, while also establishing controls on how those products are marketed to protect children.
A federal bill to extend the ban on electronic benefit transaction fees and the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program has 3 co-sponsors in the House. Without it, a 5-year reprieve of EBT fees passed as part of the 2018 Farm Bill is set to expire. Convenience stores can apply to accept SNAP benefits online. They must sell food staples and some fresh fruit and vegetables to qualify.
Albertsons has unveiled a preliminary framework to help set standards in retail media. From the Albertsons Media Collective, the framework focuses on product characteristics, performance measurement, third-party verification, and capabilities. The grocery retailer said it aims to help set the gold standard for the way advertisers, agencies, and retail media networks work together.
Convenience store retailer Yesway, staying true to its value of community, is holding a fundraising campaign and donating $100,000 to the towns of Matador, Perryton, and Hawley, Texas, which were recently hit by tornadoes. Yesway and sister chain Allsup's customers in Texas will have the opportunity to make donations at the checkout to help the company reach its total goal of $200,000.
Asian grocer H Mart announced recently that it's opening a new store in Dallas. The 142,000 square foot store will be in the city's northwest area that's currently known as Koreatown, following the Dallas City Council's approval of a $3.5 million in grant and tax incentives to build the H Mart supermarket.
Schnucks employees working at the grocer's 3 locations in Columbia, Missouri, now have the option of choosing shifts and store locations that work best for their schedules through the company's latest expansion of its FlexForce program. The St. Louis-based grocer, which runs 114 stores in Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin, is currently in contract negotiations with United Food and Commercial Workers Local 88, which represents about 11% of the grocer's roughly 12,000 employee workforce.
Aldi has renovated 2 of its supermarkets in the Midwest and will reopen the doors of these upgraded stores on Thursday. The stores are in the Chicago suburb of Bellwood, Illinois, and the Cleveland suburb of Westlake, Ohio. They're part of an ongoing initiative to remodel and expand existing Aldi stores.
Chestnut Market will be the first convenience retailer to sell a caffeine energy spray from Toronto-based VAE Labs. VAE Spray will launch in 20 Chestnut Market stores this year. The product is a spray enriched with caffeine and amino acids. It delivers 20 milligrams of caffeine per spray. 3 sprays on the tongue or added to a beverage provide the same amount of caffeine as a 5-ounce cup of coffee.
I could probably use a few sprays at this point in the afternoon. And that will do it for today's episode of Retail Daily. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more for your daily dose of retail news. For more on these stories, visit CSP Daily News or winsightgrocerybusiness.com. I'm Heather Lally.
And I'm Steve Holtz. Have a great day.